Amen. It's a blessing to be here. Thank you so much, Alpha Gamma and Nu Sigma, for those beautiful flowers. I do appreciate it. It's always good to be honored and affirmed. Amen. 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 To Dr. Goldman, Courtney Adams, and to my Vice President, Dr. Michelle Stewart, to my faculty members, to each of you here. It's just a blessing to be here and to declare what thus saith the Lord. Before I begin to preach, I just want to pay homage, if you will, to two people who had an indirect effect on my life. The first one is Mr. Kenneth Sampson. Mr. Sampson was band director here at Lane when I was a little girl. And he had one of the baddest bands in the history of this college. I remember that people would come from miles around to see this band. And I remember when they performed in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I mean, it's just a bad band. Go get your yearbook and do your research. So, Mr. Sampson, thank you for what you did to influence me. For anything I am, it's because of Lane and East Jackson. Yeah. He doesn't know that, but I want to be a majorette because of the band that Mr. Sampson put forth. Am I telling the truth, Melinda? Was it a bad band? It was a bad band. And the second person is my dad, Dr. Robert Owens. He's not here, but he was over the choir when I was a little girl. And I remember that at Christmas time, they would do the Messiah. And I can remember when we moved from the cafeteria to the Civic Center, and the Lane College Concert Choir would pack out that Civic Center doing the Messiah. It was a community affair. And I was so proud of the college, the students, and my dad, and I could not wait to get to college because I saw what a black college could do for the students that those men had impacted. So to him, thank you so much, and Mr. Sampson, thank you so much for all that you've done to make us what we are today. There is a word for the book of Isaiah. It was read in your hearing, chapter 9. And I'm going to focus on verse 6b. 6b. Hear the word of the Lord. It says, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace. And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace. And from this text, I want to use for a thought for your consideration. It matters what they call you. Yeah, it matters. It matters what they call you. Just look to your right and tell us, it matters what they call you. Look on the other side and say, it matters what they call you. There's a school of thought that argues that it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. But I disagree with that school of thought because I believe that what you hear, you internalize. And so although you may not answer to it, if you internalize it, it then manifests itself in some form of behavior. We have to be careful about what our ears hear and what goes into our hearts. I'm very careful about what I speak in your presence or in your hearing. I walk in my classes most mornings and I say, good morning, scholars, because I need my students to know that I see them as scholars who can think critically and objectively, because it matters what they call you. It matters what they call you. Isaiah is known as one of the major prophets of the Old Testament. The prophets were people who had a passionate and determined conviction about the future of their people. A passionate and determined conviction about the future of their people. Prophets believed that God's intention for the future is identifiable and can be known. Now, they weren't prophesying about houses and cars and money, but they were prophesying about the plight of the people in that nation. One of the things that I find most interesting about the Old Testament prophets is that they had a concern for social justice, a concern for the community that they lived in and the world around them. Yes, if you know anything about the Old Testament, now I'm an Old Testament scholar. I love the Old Testament. And the hierarchy was prophet, then king. So the king could not move unless the prophet gave him the okay. I believe that one of the reasons we're out of order today is because we have enough prophets concerned about the state of affairs in our world. But that's just me. That's just me. They were concerned about the plight of their people and believed that their relationship with God provided answers to the human condition. That because they were prophets, they could go to God and get answers for the human condition. The verse that I read, the verse that was read in your hearing, is usually talked about around Christmas time when we celebrate the birth of Christ. In this text, Isaiah is announcing the coming of the Messiah, the hope of the people of Israel to bring deliverance to the captive. Now here's what you got to get. We don't know what his name is. The prophet does not give him a name, but the prophet gives attributes to what we're going to call him. The prophet says we're going to call him Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace. Well, here it is, here it is, here it is. You call me professor. You call me Old Testament scholar. You call me student advocate, because you know I'll fight for my students at the drop of a dime. You call me woman of God. You call me sorority girl. But my name is Cassandra. So it matters what they call you. We call you a former Miss Lane College. We call you a graduating senior. We call you a member of Zeta Phi Beta sorority, but your name is Chastity. You cannot allow people to call you all kinds of names and place all kinds of labels on you. You're not thugs. You're not gangbangers. You're not cutthroat and robbers. You're not even murderers. You are educated men and women of God. That's who you are. I just came by to encourage you today. You are student athletes, student leaders, future lawyers, entrepreneurs, doctors, politicians, athletic directors, teachers, and principals. That's who you are. The book of Genesis tells us that we are made in the image of God. We're made in his image. And Miss Erica Badu told us, if we're made in his image, then call us by our name. Call us by our name. If we're made, and since we're made in his image, we'll call us by our name. So here your names. Here are your names. Here are your names. The book of Psalms says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. First Peter calls you a royal priesthood, a chosen generation, a holy nation. Romans calls you more than conquerors. Deuteronomy says you're the head and not the tail, above only and not beneath. That's what you are. Those are your names. You are perseverers. You are survivors. You are overcomers. You're courageous. You're bold. You're audacious. You're life givers, life changers, mothers, sons, daughters, educated members of Greek letter organizations. You are soldiers in the fight against injustice. Now, soldiers know how to fight. Yeah, they know how to fight. They fight with prayer and they fight with praise. The Bible declares that God will teach your hands to war and your fingers to fight, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the pulling down of strongholds. It is your job and your responsibility to pull down strongholds. And if anybody calls you anything else other than those things, they call you the wrong name. Don't you answer to it, and don't you internalize it. I did not use any words that were derogatory, insulting, or dehumanizing. All the words I used were upbuilding, inspiring, and uplifting. You have to be careful, beloved. Be careful what you allow in your ears and in your heart